I'm Annie.
And I'm Leah.
And this is Lactation Business Coaching with Annie and Leah, where we talk about the smart way to create a compassionate and professional private practice.
Let's dive in. Well, hello, Annie.
Leah, you're still at my kitchen table.
Isn't this amazing? We're getting to do 2 episodes together face to face. This is just, it seems so odd to be sitting here at your kitchen table, but so amazing because we're getting to have like a whole different feel to our podcasting.
And then when we're done, we're totally going to go just hang out and look at New York City.
I can't wait. I've never been, and I'm so excited to see something iconic. That's all I ask. But Annie keeps asking me, where do you want to go? Where do you want to go? And I'm like, just take me somewhere so I can say, when I was in New York, I went to blah, blah, blah. And people will be like, wow, that's awesome.
Because she was telling me that when she was telling people that I'm coming to New York City, everybody had like the thing that she has to see.
Yes.
And like her husband even did it just this morning. Like, oh no, you have to go see this. And I'm like, well, we could spend that's why people come for a long time.
I know.
To do one thing. But we really, what we have to do is make sure we don't spend this trip just entirely talking about work. Cause I was like, it would be really sad if Leah came all the way to New York City just to sit inside my apartment in Queens and then sit in traffic driving to New Jersey.
Right.
Because this is the subject of our episode today. Even lactation consultants need a vacation.
Absolutely. And it's so hard, I think, for a lot of us when you are running a business and you feel like solely responsible for all the things. And you're like, but the moms don't just stop coming and needing help. And I feel responsible to take care of them. Sometimes it's hard to say, I can't take care of you. I'm going to be gone for a week or a month.
Or even saying, not I can't take care of you, but I'm not going to take care of you because I'm going on vacation.
Right.
Because I need a vacation.
Absolutely.
And that's where our sponsor for this episode comes in, because our sponsor can actually help you be on vacation.
Yes.
So our episode sponsor is Acuity. And with Acuity, all you need to do is show up at the right time, whether you're planning to work or on vacation. Acuity Scheduling is your online assistant working 24/7 to fill your schedule or keep it open if you're on vacation. Never ask what time works for you again. Your clients can quickly view your real-time availability and self-book their own appointments, and they can even pay online. When you go on vacation, you can block it off and they won't see any availability, and then they'll be able to see your first availability when you return. You don't have to tell anybody during your vacation, I'm on vacation, because they will see it when they log in and look at your online availability through Acuity. And Acuity wants to give you a 45-day free trial as thanks for listening to this podcast. So you can visit acuityscheduling.com/ref/LBC, which stands for Lactation Business Coaching. And we'll put that link in the show notes. So thank you to Acuity for sponsoring our episode about how to go on vacation. So Leah, I think you have a marketing tip that has to do with going on vacation.
Right. You want to keep your brand going. You want to keep social media going, even when you're away, because if you have just a long pause and everything, people might begin to wonder like, hey, did they fall off the face of the earth? But social media makes it really easy for you to keep posting even when you're away, because you can schedule all your posts ahead of time. So you can gather some of the articles or memes or things that you want to post. You can get them all scheduled in Facebook. And there you go. You're not going to have to think about any social media while you're away. You're going to be able to put that phone down and focus on where you're at and who you're with.
It's great. I mean, that's what it's all about. And just be careful when you're posting the social media stuff that's going to go up on your vacation. Make it really light and happy.
Yes, absolutely.
So you don't get all you want when you're on vacation is you want likes and hearts. You don't actually want comments.
Right, because then you can't manage the comments. And you don't want to feel like you need to stop and deal with any comments while you're away. You want to keep it as self-paced and taking care of itself as you possibly can. So that's a great additional tip there for sure.
So first, why do we need a vacation? Why do lactation consultants need a vacation?
I think the biggest reason is the work that we do is hard. It's hard. It's emotionally draining, and burnout is so common in our field. And burnout not only affects you, it affects your family, but it also affects the families that you're caring for. When you're in that burnout mode, you're not at your best. You're not going to be helping the best way that you can help. So you really do everyone, yourself and everyone around you, disservice if you don't take time to really give yourself some space to refresh and rejuvenate. And a vacation for a lot of people is a time to do that, to just step away, put everything away. Don't think about any babies or any families for just a little bit of time. And sometimes that can give you a real boost coming back to it, and you feel re-energized and your energy levels for helping are there.
I think that is so important. And I think because it's also easy for our families and people around us or our friends don't really get how hard it is. And I think just the other day, I had a client gave me permission to post a picture of her baby on my Instagram, and her like tiny 5-day-old baby. And my husband was like, I really forget how little the babies are that you work with. I'm like, yeah, like sometimes they're not even 6 pounds.
Right.
And it's like, it's a lot. And I'm like, and the families are crying and like everybody's in pain. And then you go home and then you think about like, did I do everything? And then the next day you're like, I want to make sure they're okay. Just all of that. They're always in the back of your mind, like those active clients that you have. And because you'll either they're reaching out and then that's taking up your time, or they haven't. And you're like, are you okay? Are you okay? Should I check in? Do you hate me? You know,
it's like that constant, even though you're going to try really hard to have good boundaries and set those aside. Yeah. I think every time you get a little ding in your mind about a family that you've helped or a family you're a little concerned about, it just takes a little bit more energy away from you and a little bit more energy away from you. And then it seems like it always comes in waves. Like you'll get this wave of just complicated case after complicated case after complicated case, or like this wave of like everybody has low milk supply. And I feel like when it feels like a big wave like that, like that's even more draining, you know, because you're just feeling like you're dealing with repeat of the same story over and over and over again. And I feel like that really drains you a lot as well. So I just think there's so many times that our energy is getting drained. So we need a vacation.
Yeah. And you know, we talked about it in our episode on compassion fatigue, about just all the reasons why this work is so draining. And I think the other piece of it though is, as small business owners, where we feel like it's on us, like we have to run this thing, like we're the captain of the ship. And if we're not around, if we're not constantly maintaining it, like, it could just die. Like, and I think that's always a fear that any self-employed person has, is that any minute that I'm not thinking about my business is that could be when the thing happens that makes me fail. Right. But every time I've gone away, and I did it recently, we went on a trip, just me, my husband and my kids, where we went somewhere where I left my phone in my room. I did not have my Apple Watch on. We were at an indoor water park. There were no clocks. And I actually went for it was 6 hours where I didn't even know what time it was.
Oh my gosh.
And I just sat there and my mind went to places, and I was like, I would think of something about my business and then I would be like, okay. And it just had to go. I didn't have any paper to write it down. Yeah. I had nothing, no ability to act on it. And it took that prolonged period of time before I could actually be in that place where I could have the thoughts and let them go and not feel the urgency to act on them.
Right.
That's why my husband is also a business owner. We really like those kind of trips where we like to go camping. Mm-hmm. We like to go and leave the phone in the car. Yeah. We like to go in the woods. So that we can actually
really disconnect from everything. Yeah. Cause if you keep your phone next to you and you're really just on vacation, quote unquote, but you're really still working just from a different location. That's not actually vacation.
It's not vacation.
That's
at
just,
all.
you just moved your business to be run by, in
Right.
Disney World versus being run in your living room, So it
Right.
really is. I think there's a lot of steps that you can take when you're prepping for a vacation to make it work better for you. So just kind of whether you're going to take a short vacation, you're just going to be gone for maybe a couple of days, or if you're like, no, I think for me at this time, I need to really take a whole month off. I need to say I have more that I need, more time that I need. The 3 days isn't going to cut it, and that's okay to do that. I think there's some ways that we can prep our businesses to sustain that. And just in the very short term, you want to think about, even if you're gone for 3 days, like, okay, I'm going to need to make sure that anybody who contacts me would know that I'm not available right now, and then have somewhere to go to get help. So how have you done that? Say when you went on your short vacation just recently, what did you do?
I've definitely done the autoresponder for text. So I'm unavailable. And by unavailable, meaning not just unavailable for a consult, but I'm not even going to text you back.
Right.
And I'll say, and sometimes if it's it's for a long time, I'll say, well, I know these people are generally around. And, so I'll say, please contact this person instead if you're in Queens, and this person if you're in Brooklyn. And then I can trust in that referral network that I talked about in the last episode, that even if my backup isn't available, they're at least around to get the
right. They're going to get them to someone.
They'll get them to someone. So that's the big thing I do, and setting up an auto reply on my email, just so that I'm not even responding to those texts. And I've even, for longer vacations, I've even deleted my my Spruce app from my phone.
Wow.
And so that I just don't even get the notifications.
Yeah.
And then when I get back, I check, and I will tell I have to tell my current clients, I'm not going to be checking texts. With the current clients, it is always a little bit of a, like, I'm never going to totally go dark.
Right. Because there could be something more urgent.
But I will say I'm only checking once a day.
Right. Right. And, if you're still not going to be able to maybe help them one-on-one, but if it's urgent, you're like, I have these backup people that I can get you in with quickly that I know.
And I'll tell them in advance too. Yes. And I'll say, if you need to see somebody in person while I'm gone, this person.
Yes.
And, do that. Don't wait for me, because I will try to get back to you, but I'm only going to be checking my email once a day. I'm not checking my texts at all. So just prepping the clients. Another strategy I have to kind of limit that involvement this is before I'm going on a long vacation. I actually will not take any new clients in the couple of days, but maybe even a week before.
That's really smart.
And that's always a tricky thing, because that assumes that I've got follow-up clients to do, but I will push. So, I have a vacation coming up, and I had some people that I saw yesterday, and one of them was on the fence of do they need a follow-up? And I was like, you should have a follow-up with me next week, because then I won't be able to see you again for another couple of weeks. And then that's then I can so I'm a little more
strategic about where you're going to put them in and how.
Right. And just telling them, if you want to see me again, it should be next week. So then I can get that week filled up and feel like, okay,
they're going to be okay before I go out of town. And I do that too. Like when I was prepping for this trip, I actually, at the end of last week, had some clients, you never know what's going to walk through the door sometimes. Even if they fill out their intake form, it seems like what their perception of how things are going and what's really happening are really different. And I did have a couple where I was like, okay, we're going to need to make sure that, you come in for a weight check with my partner. Or, as soon as I get back, I need to make sure that we have contact, and I am going to make an exception and maybe contact you while I'm away to make sure things are going okay. Or I'm checking to see if they're going to have contact with their healthcare provider, like their pediatrician or something like that. So there are some situations, and you want to be really thoughtful about prepping them. So, and then the other thing that you can do is to prep whoever you might be referring to, and maybe even coordinate, like find out if you don't have a group practice, you have a referral network, you'd want to communicate with those people like, hey, just giving everybody a heads up. I will be out of town on this day to this day. I put an autoresponder to send to you. So, or can I put an autoresponder to, you probably should ask them before you do that. But can I, automatically send people over your way? Something like that can be really helpful as well.
And here's a great tip for when you're just starting in your practice, a real good reason to connect with the other lactation consultants is find out when they're going on vacation.
Yes.
And don't go on vacation when they're on vacation. Take your vacation another time, because then you can pick up. And that was something I did very strategically. My first few summers was I was like, oh yeah, everybody goes away the last 2 weeks of August because there's no camp. If you have school-age children, it's like really hard to find a summer camp.
Yeah.
So, and friends are around because their kids are not in camp.
Right.
So they're like, we're looking for something to do. I'm like, I have something to do. Take my children while I go to work. And then I was really kind of like reaping the benefits of being around when other people weren't around.
Yeah.
And so, so that's where building that trust and that referral network is going to make it easy. And also, like in a long view, I mean, you want to make sure you enjoy your vacation, and like nothing can make you not enjoy your vacation, like worrying about money. So when you're planning for your vacation times, one of the most important things you can do is recognize like it's never about that one consult. It's about the big picture. So by this time in the year, we're recording this in June. I've been tracking all of my consults for the year. I have a monthly target. I have a low target and a high target, and I'm always aiming for the high target. But if I get the low, I'm now trying to not have 2 low months in a row because I have this average that I want. And so by the time I'm going to go on vacation, I want to feel like I'm on track, that I've met my goals, and that maybe I'm even a little ahead. That way I can say, yes, I'm going on a 1-week vacation, but I'm taking 2 weeks off, so that I don't have to take new clients right before I go on vacation.
Right.
And that's all factored into my big picture plan. So it means that maybe earlier in the year, maybe like in January, often I'm like, I'm gonna see everybody.
Right.
And so that I can like bank for June.
Yeah.
So I want to take off when I want to take off.
Right. That's a great strategy. And it's so thoughtful to have that bigger vision of your whole practice, and what are your goals, and where are you going, and what do you need to make, and what do you need to cover or make up for when you're not going to have income for 2 weeks? Like, how are you going to strategize around that and make sure that your business stays going well and has good future ahead of it? So I think that's really, really important. And I think we've already spoke to some of the other ways that you can make sure you enjoy your vacation is to also really try to find out for you what your boundaries are with your tech. And are you going to really, like you do, delete a whole app to make sure that you're not distracted by that? Or do you need to delete Facebook? I mean, it's just, what do you need to do to really center yourself and not feel like you're still being pulled back into business life? And I know for me, like when I go on vacation, I have an admin, and we do try to always coordinate it where she's not out when I'm out. And she's really good at like fielding everything and making sure like nothing comes past this boundary unless it's like, and she knows like, these are the things you can contact me about because that's super serious and I need to know. And then everything else, like I kind of give her the reins, like, here, I'm going to let you, if this decision needs to come up, like it's on you, you can take care of it. And then I'll jump back in when I get back. And that really helps me have the confidence to just take a deep breath and set it all aside. Because I know somebody's out there kind of driving the show while I'm out. So that's always helped me.
I think that's really good too, that, saying there's only a certain level of thing that you want to actually be contacted about. And even like when I've gone away, it really like, it does remind me like, I'm not supposed to be doing this for them.
Yeah.
Like the whole point is like, I'm supposed to be giving them a care plan that they can implement themselves, like, and resources for themselves. And so, yeah, I mean, of course, like we have like those urgent situations where you're like, I really need you to get a weight check. And then, but like for something like, sometimes they just want to talk to you.
Right. Or like check, is what I'm doing okay? That kind of thing. Right. And if it's not something urgent, then sometimes those conversations can wait until you get back.
And preparing that and even putting that in the care plan.
Yeah.
And here's what to do. Like if you are worried that you have mastitis, don't ask me.
Right. You need to contact your physician.
Right.
Yeah.
If you're scared about your baby's diapers, you should be asking the pediatrician.
Right.
You know, I mean, so you can jump past me and that like big picture of breastfeeding is in their hands. Unless if it's an emergency, we're not the people that should be dealing with.
Right. There's really no lactation emergencies that a lactation consultant is going to be able to address, mastitis or your baby, possibly not getting enough. We really want to make sure that the pediatrician, the OBs are involved for sure. So I think that's really helpful to have that in the care plan as well. And then prepping your clients when you know you're going to be away. So I think those are some great ways that we can kind of take a deep breath and relax and really sit back and enjoy your vacation. And everybody's so different on what fuels you, and I think when you're going on a vacation, oftentimes we're going for our kids, we're like taking our kids here, taking our kids there. But just to take a moment to think about as you go away, like what really fuels me. And if I have this 7 days that I'm going to be away from work and I'm trying to make sure that I come back energized and ready to jump back in full force, like be mindful of what fills you up. And that might be like, I love eating at really fun restaurants. So even though we're going to such and such place for the kids, I'm going to make sure 2-3 days we go to some fun restaurants. Or I really just love just sitting somewhere quiet and reading a book and facilitating that for yourself. But sometimes I think we get so caught up in the act of on a vacation, we've got to coordinate all these things and the packing and the production of it that we forget to take like the real benefit of it. And don't forget to take time for yourself to do what fills you up, so you really get the most out of the vacation.
And one thing that I heard recently from someone a lactation consultant who does not have children was saying that how she finds it hard to take a vacation because she doesn't necessarily have an excuse to take a vacation. Yes. That she's also, seen in the hospital where her vacation needs don't get the priority.
That is so true.
And I'm telling you, you do not need your kids.
No.
To go on a vacation.
Absolutely
go on a vacation.
And
if you want to go on a vacation over July 4th, you don't need kids to say a vacation over July 4th is important to me. Like,
right.
Just
100%.
You don't need that. And so, and let's don't, I think when you have kids, it's just so easy to be like, but it's just like coordinating the schedules and we're only available at this time, but doesn't mean that our vacation needs are any more important or stressful than somebody else's. So to all of you who don't have kids, just take that vacation.
Yes.
Please
take
that
care
vacation.
Of yourself. You have as much burnout as somebody who has kids or somebody who has an aging family member that they're taking care of, or, anybody else that's in your care, or just yourself that is in your care. You are so important and so valuable too. And you're going to burn out just like the next of us. So make sure you're taking good care of yourself and recognizing the importance and value of taking these breaks throughout the year really does for not just you, but also the work that you do. I really think it helps fuel us to do good work.
Absolutely. And when I have told my clients that I'm going on vacation and I'm not going to be available, you know what they say? They're not like, what?
Wait, I need you 24
No, they're
hours
like,
a day.
oh, that's so great.
I
Where are you going?
know.
Oh, I'm so happy for you.
Yeah.
Like they're glad to hear
Yes.
that we're going on vacation.
Mine have always been super excited. And they sometimes will even email me and be like, I hope you're having fun on your trip. Like I totally got an email today from one of my clients. I told them I was going to New York and he's like, oh, I lived in New York for 30 years. Let me tell you, blah, blah, blah. He had all these things he needed to tell me how to get the cab, how to do this, where I needed to go. And they literally emailed me and they were like, we're hoping you're having so much fun in New York City. It was really great to have that connection with them too. And then they were really respecting. They didn't ask you questions. They just said, I hope you're having fun in New York City. And that was really sweet because they respected that we weren't doing any clinical stuff right now, but they wanted to let me know that they were supporting me in my vacation. So absolutely. So as we wrap up today about vacations, do you have a tech tip related to vacations?
I do have a tech tip. So, and it's a pretty simple one, but like really the main reason that you want online scheduling is so you can block off that vacation time. And in Acuity, you just go in and you say, from this day to this day, I'm blocking all of my appointments. But you could even get specific though and say, I'm blocking all new consults, but I'm leaving open my follow-ups, or maybe I'll still do prenatals that week before I go if you do prenatals, or I'll do a back to work consult.
Right.
But you're like, what I'm not going to do is come and see you with your 3-day-old baby who hasn't pooped yet.
Right.
The day before I go to vacation.
Not going to make for
refer
a nice
that one
vacation.
out. You are not the person for that job.
No.
So, and speaking of going on vacation, Leah and I are going on a little podcast vacation. So you're going to be listening to this in July, and then you're not going to hear our voices again until September because we are practicing what we preach.
Yep.
We're taking a little break.
Yeah, which is going to be a great time for us to come up with new ideas for you guys and re-energize ourselves to have great invigorated content. And we'd love to also hear when we come back, like, what do you guys want to hear us talking about? So you can always leave a message for us on Facebook or in the Messenger or in the comments of the podcast. You can always get us what topics are really speaking to you, what you want us to talk about. And we're going to be working together to get some really great new content out for you guys in September. And we're going to enjoy our little podcast vacation.
We will. But we can't wait to come back. So we're probably going to hang up this recording and then plan when we're going to record
next
for
time.
our September episodes, because we really can't wait, but it's going to be great. And we also hope to have some like other ideas sparkling on the horizon. So You'll have to wait till September to hear about those. So it was so fun talking to you and having you in my kitchen and in my tiny apartment.
It's awesome. I love it. I'm so New York's.
All right. See you later.
Thanks for listening to Lactation Business Coaching with Annie and Leah. If you like this podcast, please leave us a rating or review on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, wherever you're listening right now. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode.